When Jacob and Sophie arrived at the house by the seaside, it was already lively inside. Dracon's black Chevrolet, Helen's SUV, Liam's black Benz, and Walter's white Ford were all parked by the garage. In the living room, they had pushed the two square tables together, forming a long table. "Soph is here!" Grandma yelled happily at the sight of Sophie. "Grandma!" Sophie ran over cheerfully and hugged her tightly. "I missed you so much." Grandma pinched her cheek with a fond smile. Jacob looked around and found that Liam was indeed there. Walter and Mila were sitting on the couch, talking animatedly with Dracon, Helen, and Liam. Whereas his grandma, the twins, and Kathy were all sitting around the dining table having their own conversation. "Jacob, come here and sit with us," Grandma called out to Jacob. "Master, here. Jade and Julia waved their arms to the seat next to them. He joined them as the only male member of the group.
"Kathy is on level 3 of the Chi Refinement Realm, and Princess is on level 4 of the Chi Refinement Realm."
Jade leaned to Jacob and whispered. "Really?" Jacob was surprised. He didn't expect that Sophie's cultivation strength would surpass her master in just a few days. A little while later, Helen and Mila joined this group as well. Mila chose to sit beside Sophie.
"It has been a while, and Soph is even more beautiful."
She turned to look at Sophie and thought with a smile. "Our institute recently bought a deep ocean detector which could explore as deep as 3,000 meters under the sea. Many unknown creatures are living in the ocean, and our research has a long way ahead of us." Walter got excited when he talked about his research programs on the couch. "Besides the unknown creatures, there are precious resources at the bottom of the sea, waiting for us to explore. After taking this position, I'll try my best to get some results for our ocean research project." Liam and Dracon nodded while they listened to him. "Mila is going to work on a new area as well. She used to research the climates of oceans and wetlands. Now, she will focus on the meteorology of the ocean and the coastal cities. According to the recent reports from the Bureau of Meteorology, the weather in the city has experienced many weird changes, especially near the sea, where thunder and lightning appeared unpredictably. Mila's initial research will focus on explaining such strange local meteorological phenomena," Walter continued. Jacob, who was sitting silently, felt his heart begin to race. "The weird meteorological phenomena is caused by my lightning cultivation," he thought. Okay. Stop talking about such mysterious stuff." Grandma knew Walter would go on forever if he got started with his work. She interrupted him and added, "Hurry up and check if the roast is ready." "Okay." He immediately stood up and went to the kitchen. Mila also followed him inside. No matter if it were science research or family life, they always worked together. Helen nodded at Dracon, satisfied with Jacob's family. She knew that Sophie would be safe, no matter how the world changed. After all, the world of cultivation was not as peaceful as it looked. If the situation changed drastically, returning to a mortal life and living with Jacob wasn't a bad option for Sophie. From what they saw, they believed that Jacob would try his best to protect Sophie, no matter if they were in the cultivation world or the mortal world. "Come on, dinner is ready," Mila called out from the kitchen. Very soon, the living room was filled with the delicious aroma of food and lively chatter. Suddenly, a white puppy trotted to Grandma's feet, and the golden bell that was hanging on its neck jingled crisply.
"Snowflake?"
Sophie called out immediately. Since everyone was eating, Snowflake wagged its head and stuck out its tongue. If Snowflake is here, then... A thought occurred to Jacob. "Little girl, teach me your elixir-making techniques." Noah suddenly appeared in the house. He was wearing a white shirt under a brown checkered blazer and a black bow tie around his neck. Noah's sudden appearance shocked everyone, including Dracon. Kathy looked at Noah in a daze while the latter stared at her. 100 years ago, Noah came to the land once with his master Thomas. Therefore, he dressed the same way as last time. However, the world had changed drastically, and his attire looked weird, as he was an 8-year-old kid dressed like an 80-year-old man. Liam, who was responsible for organizing things for the Dragon Clan, looked at Noah, Kathy, and Dracon. He was at a loss for words and didn't know what to do. If they were in the Dragon Palace, it would be easy. However, they were on the land, and there were mortals like Walter and Mila in the living room. Noah's sudden appearance and his mentioning of elixir making was a bit... Snowflake circled Sophie's feet. When it saw everyone sitting around like statues, it trotted back to Noah, sticking out its tongue. After all, it led Noah to Jacob's home, and it felt like it deserved some rewards. While everyone was in a daze, Grandma suddenly spoke. "Hey, sweetie, you must be hungry. Come on, eat something first," Grandma said to Noah gently. Noah looked at her in bafflement at the term of endearment, but he bit his tongue as he was already salivating from the aroma that had filled the room. "Here, eat it while it's warm." Grandma handed a plate of roast chicken to Noah. "Okay." Consciously, he took the warm plate of food and began eating. The food was delicious. Noah never had such good food while he lived at the bottom of the ocean, so he started to devour the food. The more he ate, the more he liked it. He finished his whole plate in moments. Still not satisfied, he handed the empty plate to Grandma and said, "More!" Grandma didn't mind his bluntness. She walked to the kitchen and got him more. As if he had not eaten for hundreds of years, Noah finished the second plate in seconds. "More!" he once again demanded. "Okay, no problem." Grandma took the plate and filled it again in the kitchen happily. This time, Noah sat down in a chair and began to savor each bite. Everyone, including Dracon, was stunned. This bad-tempered Noah, who could destroy the entire city with one treasure, can be tamed by some chicken? The Dragon King thought. Jacob looked at Grandma in surprise and admiration. He thought, Grandma is the big boss here after all. It seems like there is no one who couldn't be subdued by her. Noah lifted his head and sighed with satisfaction. He wiped his mouth with his sleeve and then remembered the reason he came here. Looking at Kathy, he demanded, "You, teach me your elixir-making techniques." Notes and runes were techniques of human cultivators. They contained a unique pattern of 5 elements, and they could be activated by chanting spells and nature essence to fend off enemies. For the dragon cultivators who could quickly reach the 3rd level, the notes and runes were insignificant techniques, and that was why no dragon cultivators had ever studied them. However, Noah was impressed with Kathy's elixir-making skills when she used her 2 powerful notes. These notes could adjust the 5 elemental essences in the materials, shortening the whole process of elixir making. This way, the process of elixir making returned to the most basic form. It was clear that the golden note and silver note were obviously not ordinary notes which borrowed the power of the immortals. They were more powerful notes which acquired the force of nature. How could Noah not want to learn that? One was golden and one was silver. One was life and one was death. One represented the power of the 8th level and one represented the 7th. And one resembled heaven and one resembled earth. They could even turn the 5 elements upside down. With such miraculous elixir-making techniques, what elixir pills couldn't he create?